I have completed the wiring for the fuel gauge, and what you have is at the top is a light assembly, a red wire and a white wire. The red wire for the light in the fuel gauge will go down here to the terminal that's marked positive. The white wire is going to be your ground wire, which is the center terminal, and then over here where this blue connector is at, this is from the fuel probe sending unit. This is the S. It's marked S on the gauge, and this is from the sender, the signal from the capacitance probe. I have a ground that goes from the center here out to airframe ground, and then I have a wire coming up from the fuel probe. It's a 12 volt positive wire from the fuel probe. It goes up here, so it connects to the light, and then across here to a 1 amp fuse, and then from the fuse down to a voltmeter. The voltmeter itself is connected to the switch side of the master switch. That means that when the master switch is turned off, the meter does not get power and the light goes out. When the switch is pushed in, the master switch is engaged, it gets 12 volts from the master through the voltmeter and then through this fuse and into the gauge, and then from the gauge back to the transducer mounted in the tank. And that's all there is to it. The gauge itself mounts on the back side of the panel with this U-clamp. Now, I am expecting a bezel to come in from Aircraft Spruce to complete the installation, so when the bezel gets here I will have to take all this back out and put the gauge, mount the gauge through the bezel. But for sake of wiring, this is how it is done.